Welcome back. We will continue the part 2 of this exercise. Here we will cover the service and repair of cooking range and geyser. Let us start the testing and servicing of an electric stove. Electric stoves have a flattened spiral coil that heats up with electric current seen as glow in the coil. The heat directly transfers from these coils to utensils. Coils are exposed or hidden beneath a sheet of glass ceramic. A microwave oven is also attached below the stove. Observe nameplate details of the cooking range and write them in the inspection sheet, such as voltage, current, capacity, wattage, etc. Disconnect the power supply and open the terminal box of cooking range. Study the connection diagram given by the manufacturer or trace the connections of the cooking range. Check the screws of the selector switch, indicator lamp, range timer, and thermostat and tighten them. Check each surface heating element by connecting the multimeter one by one. Set the multimeter in continuity testing position. Place one of the probe in one terminal end of the heating element and place the other probe of the multimeter at another terminal end and check for its continuity. If continuity is OK, we may say that the element is in good condition. If there is no continuity, replace the faulty with a good one. Conduct a visual check of the shape of each element. Next, open the panel of the oven rack and test the condition of the oven racks. Check whether the racks are placed and connected correctly. Measure insulation value of all terminals to the body of the cooking range. Test continuity in the terminal block and power cord. Test each terminal and its connection to the block. Check for defects in selector switch and replace if continuity issues exist. Measure insulation resistance between all the terminals and check if each resistance is above 1 mega ohms. Replace the defective component when less than 1 mega ohms. Place the oven rack panel and assemble other parts. Connect to the power supply and check for its working. This concludes the service and repair of a cooking range. Now, let us study the testing and servicing of geyser. The geyser has a water tank with an inlet pipe for cold water and outlet pipe for hot water. It has heating elements that are controlled by thermostats, ensuring water is not heated above a set value. The tank is covered with some insulating material and enclosed inside a metal casing. The principle on which the geyser works is the conversion of electrical energy into heat. Observe and note down nameplate details of geyser in table, like operating supply, operating voltage, current, watts, capacity, and model. Disconnect power supply. Open the inspection cover. First, we should have a visual inspection of power terminals, thermostat, heating element, pilot lamp for good condition and proper connection. Now, conduct a visual examination of the power cord. Conduct a continuity test between the power cord pin terminal and the terminals of the geyser with the help of a multimeter. Replace the cord if you find any fault. Next, check the good condition of the heating element by measuring its resistance with a multimeter. Set the multimeter to the resistance setting and connect its leads to the terminals of the heating element. If the meter reads resistance values within 100 ohms, then the element has continuity and it is OK. If the meter doesn't read any values, then it is assumed that the heating element is defective and is to be replaced. Conduct insulation tests between the leads, lead and earth, and record them in the inspection sheet. Measure the insulation resistance between the heating element and the body of the geyser and record them in the inspection sheet. The minimum value of the insulation resistance should be 1 mega ohms. If it is less than 1 mega ohms, then it is assumed to be insulation failure. Check and confirm the power is making it to all the internal components. Check the power supply wiring. Make sure the wires are not loose and wire nuts are tight enough. Test for any short circuit and continuity using a multimeter. Reassemble the elements. Connect the geyser to the supply and switch on. Keeping bottom cover of the power connections open. Remember, the geyser should be switched on only with water in the container. Check and confirm that the power is making it to all the internal components. Confirm the working of geyser. Observe that the heating process is cut off by the actuation of the thermostat. We should keep in mind that the heating time depends on the capacity of the geyser and the thermostat setting. Now, switch off the supply. Remove the plug. Measure the insulation resistance value between the terminals and the body of the heater thermostat while it is hot and record the value in table. Replace the thermostat if the insulation value is less than 1 mega ohms. Confirm the proper working of geyser and reinstall the cover. This concludes the service and repair of geyser. This concludes the exercise Service and Repair of Electric Iron, Electric Kettle, Cooking Range and Geyser Part 2. I hope in this exercise we learn to repair and service of electric iron, repair and service of electric kettle, repair and service of cooking range, repair and service of geyser. Thank you all. See you in the next exercise.